Hello, dear students. Today, let us study one more salt analysis. The aim is to analyze the given salt for acidic and basic radical. Acidic radical, that is anion, and basic radical, that is cation. Let's have look to the salt which is given to us today. The salt given to us today looks like this. Please have a look to the salt. The salt is solid, crystalline. The salt has no particular color, so we can either write colorless or white color. I hope you have observed the salt well. So again, we are going to follow the same pattern. We'll do experiment. We observe the results and then we reach to a conclusion which we call it inference. So first we need to go for the physical examination of the salt. We have seen that the physical state of the salt was or is solid. That means the semi-solid FeCl3 kind of salts are absent. We have color of the salt. So the color of the salt is either white or we can say it is a colorless salt. So colored ions such as Fe plus 2, Fe plus 3, Ni plus 2, Cu plus 2 are absent. When we smell this salt, there is no specific smell we feel. And that is why the, the ions which gives specific smell to the salt like NH4 plus or CS3 COO minus are absent. Now we shall study about the heating test. First, we perform the dry heating test. So in a given test tube, my dear students, in a given test tube, we heat this salt in a dry formation. Like in the dry state, we keep the conditions dry and we heat the salt. When we heat the salt loses its water of crystallization and forms the white powder. So we can conclude that the given salt is a hydrated salt. It has some water of crystallization. We have the next experiment to do is mix the salt with the solid sodium hydroxide and heat. When we heat the salt with the solid sodium hydroxide, we do not get the ammoniacal smell, and that is why we can say that NH4 plus may be absent. When we mix the salt with solid oxalic acid and heat it, we do not have the smell of the vinegar. As we do not get the smell of the vinegar, we can say, my dear students, that CH3COO minus, that is your acetate ion, may be absent. The next test that we need to perform is called the flame test. Let us observe what happens when we put the salt on a flame. So let us observe the flame test and witness the color change. Let us observe the flame test and witness the color change. We are bringing the salt near to the flame and let us see what kind of flame do we get. Yes, my dear students, we can easily get the flame. We get, you have seen that we get green flame. You can easily observe the green flame. So this is how, my dear students, we can easily understand the flame for our salt. So then Let us observe the flame. I think it has not been reached to you. You could not seen the video. So I'm doing it once again for you. If it has not been reached to you, you can see we are bringing the salt near to the flame, and you can easily observe the green flame. The green flame is observed, my dear students. You can see it once again that when we bring the salt near to the flame, especially the oxidizing flame, we observe the green color flame. This is what it is known as the grassy green flame, and this is how we understand about the flame test. So we have seen the flame test, my dear students. A pinch of salt is allowed to burn in the oxidizing flame. Apple green colored flame is observed. Some people call it grassy green colored flame, and thus we can say that ions such as Ba plus 2 and Cu plus 2, etc. may be present. Now you might have seen that when we look at the salt of the color, the salt of the color is white, and that is why here we have already understood that Cu plus 2 should be absent. So we can say that here there is more possibility of having Ba plus 2 on the basis of the flame test, my dear students. Now let's move forward and go for the wet test. The first wet test is the salt plus aqueous dilute acid. Most probably we add dilute HCl. When we add dilute HCl to the salt, there are no effervescences produced, and that is why we can say that CO3 minus 2 salt is absent. Now, my dear students, we want to understand the concentrated sulfuric acid test. In this concentrated sulfuric acid test, we take salt and then we add concentrated sulfuric acid into the aqueous medium and bring the rod that is the glass rod dipped into the ammonium hydroxide solution near the mouth of the test tube. Let us observe this so that we can understand. Let us have a look to the concentrated sulfuric acid test, my dear students. For concentrated sulfuric acid test, let us perform the concentrated sulfuric acid test. So please have a look to this. We want to study concentrated sulfuric acid. Let us have a look to the concentrated sulfuric acid test. Now, the materials required for the concentrated sulfuric acid: original salt, concentrated sulfuric acid, ammonia solution, and the various test tubes and droppers, glass rods. Now, how do we perform the test? We take a test tube. In this test tube, we take salt and then we add concentrated sulfuric acid. And then we dip a rod into the ammonia solution and bring it to the mouth of the yes, this is what you need to observe, that this is the kind of fumes, white fumes are produced. These white fumes are majorly because of the reaction of ammonia with HCl, hydrochloric acid gas, and these are the fumes of ammonium chloride. This is how you can understand that when we add acid to the salt, it produces HCl gas which reacts with the NH3 ammonia and forms NH4Cl. And from this observation, we conclude that the salt must have Cl minus present in it, and that is why it produces HCl gas. So this is how, my dear students, we come to conclusion that there is a chloride ion, Cl minus ion present into the salt. Let's have a look to the test. concentrated sulfuric acid test. Salt plus concentrated sulfuric acid. Bring the rod containing glass rod dipped in ammonium hydroxide. White fumes are observed, and as the white fumes are observed, we can conclude that Cl minus may be present. Now, my dear students, we are going to study about the manganese dioxide test. So, let us have a look to the manganese dioxide test, my dear students. Let us study how we perform the manganese dioxide test. Materials required for this test are the original salt. We need manganese dioxide, black color. We need concentrated sulfuric acid. And we need various test tubes, test tube holder, spatula, and droplets. And Bunsen burner. Procedure, how do we perform the test? We take original salt into the test tube. Then we add some of the manganese dioxide to it. Then we add concentrated sulfuric acid dropwise inside the test tube, and then we heat it. When we heat it, my dear students, there is a reaction takes place, and due to which this greenish yellow, you can see the color. You can see the color of this gas, which is a greenish yellow color. So this greenish yellow color is obtained. Now, while performing this test, if you do not get the greenish yellow gas properly, we generally add a copper foil inside it, which behaves as a catalyst to produce greenish yellow chlorine gas easily. So you can see that in the manganese dioxide test, my dear students, the greenish yellow gas produced, this greenish yellow gas, which you can see on the screen, is nothing but your chlorine gas. And this is how we determine, we confirm, or we can say that chlorine gas is present. So let us have a look to the manganese dioxide test. You can see here on your screen the manganese dioxide test. We take salt and then we add concentrated sulfuric acid. Then we add manganese dioxide in the aqueous medium. If needed, we can add copper foil and heat it. We get greenish yellow gas, and this greenish yellow gas is nothing but the chlorine gas, and this is how we can understand that chloride Cl minus 1 ion may be present. Now, my dear students, we have the next test to perform is a barium chloride test, BaCl2 test. So salt and barium chloride both are taken into the aqueous medium, and both the solution are being mixed. There are no white precipitates formed, and we can say that SO4 minus 2 is even absent. Then we perform the brown ring test. So in the aqueous medium of the salt, or in the aqueous solution of salt, first we mix the freshly prepared FeSO4 solution. Then by touching the wall of the test tube, we slowly add concentrated sulfuric acid, and at the juncture of these two liquids, that is the mixture of FeSO4 and salt solution and sulfuric acid, there is no brown ring formed, and that is why we can say that NO3 minus ion is absent. So now, my dear students, from the various tests we have performed, we can conclude that there is a possibility of presence of Ba plus 2 ion and Cl minus 1 ion. For the basic radical, we perform the group analysis. So let us perform the group analysis. To perform the group analysis, my dear students, the basic or the important thing that we need is the preparation of the original solution. So we first need to prepare the original solution. How do we prepare the original solution? We take the salt, we add the salt into the distilled water in a test tube or a beaker. We mix it well, shake it well, and then we filter it. And after filtration, whatever we got or whatever we get is our original solution. Now, with this original solution, we perform various tests and we decide which group is present in a particular salt. So when it comes to the first test, we take original solution, and when we add dilute hydrochloric acid test, we can say that there are no precipitates present, and as there are no precipitates produced, we can say that this group 1, that is your Ag plus 1, Pb plus 2, Hg plus 2 are absent. Now, my dear students, in the same solution of original salt and dilute hydrochloric acid, we just pass H2S gas, that is hydrogen sulfide gas. Again, in case of the given salt that is given to us, we do not get any precipitates, and that is why we can say that group 2, Fe, Cu plus 2, Pb plus 2 and Pb plus 2 are absent. Now, my dear students, we take the original solution. Let me show you how the original solution looks like. You can see that after filtration, whatever the original solution that we, after filtration, whatever the original solution that we get, it looks like this. So again, we take the original solution, and in this original solution, we add small amount of solid ammonium chloride, and then we add NH4OH or ammonia solution in excess. When we do this, there are no precipitates formed, and that is why we can say that we have group 3 absent, my dear students. So we have group 3 ions such as the ions Fe plus 3 and Al plus 3 are absent. Now, my dear students, again in the same solution which is having the original solution, we have already added ammonium chloride, we have already added NH4OH in excess. From this solution, now we are going to pass, or we shall pass hydrogen sulfide gas. When we pass hydrogen sulfide gas, again there are no precipitates formed, and that is why we can say that we have group 4 CO plus 2 ion, Ni plus 2 ion, Mn plus 2 ion and Zn plus 2 ions are absent. Now, my dear students, we are going to study about the next group test. We take original solution, we add ammonium chloride, and then we add ammonium hydroxide in excess, and then in this solution we add ammonium carbonate. Let us see what happens when we perform this test, my dear students. Let us go for the analysis of the barium ion and understand the test for the analysis. The various materials which are required are, these are the various materials that we are in need of. So there are various materials which are required. What are those various materials? Let us have a look at. The various materials that we need are we need salt solution, that is what we call it original solution. We need ammonium chloride, we need ammonium hydroxide, and then we need ammonium carbonate solution. We need dropper, we need spatula, we need test tube holder, and we need Bunsen burner. So in this particular process, my dear students, we take the salt solution, and in this salt solution, my dear students, in this salt solution we are going to perform the test. Let us have a look to it. Now we added ammonium chloride to it. We add it in the solid form. Then we heat it. Now we have the transparent solution. Now we are going to add NH4OH, that is ammonia solution in excess. We want it to be basic, so we add it. Then we add ammonium carbonate. You can see we have been adding ammonium carbonate dropwise, and we have got this white colored solution. So as we have got the white precipitates, my dear students, we can say that the next group, that is the group number 5. The next group, that is the group number 5, is present. So when we take original solution and add ammonium chloride, then we add ammonium hydroxide in excess, and then we add the aqueous solution. Then when we add the aqueous solution, when we add aqueous ammonium carbonate, we get white precipitates, and as we got the white precipitates, we come to know that group 5, any one of the group 5 ions may be present. That means Ba plus 2 may be present, or Ca plus 2 may present, or Sr plus 2 may present. So this is how, my dear students, you can conclude that you have various group 5 present. That means you have Ba plus 2, Ca plus 2, or Sr plus 2. Any one of this may be present in the solution. Now, what we need to do, or what we are going to do, let us look at. We will add the dilute acetic acid to the white precipitates, and as we will add dilute acetic acid to the white precipitates, these white precipitates will be dissolved into the dilute acetic acid, and we will have the transparent solution. In this transparent solution, my dear students, we will perform the confirmative test for our Ba plus 2 ion, and we are going to perform the potassium chloride test and the other test. So let us have a look to it. Now, my dear students, we have a further process to go with. So we are going for the confirmatory test for barium ion. Let us have a look to the confirmatory test. First, we are going to perform the potassium chromate test. We take the salt and add the hot dilute acetic acid. These are the materials required. Now, what do? We take the white precipitates. Then we shall add the dilute acetic acid to it, and we mix it. When we mix it, we get a transparent solution. You can see that when we add dilute acetic acid, we get a transparent solution. Now this transparent solution is divided into more than one part. Now to one part of it, we are going to add the potassium chromate solution. When we add potassium chromate solution, my dear students, you can observe that there are yellow precipitates formed. So when you can see these yellow precipitates, you can see at the bottom, these precipitates have also been collected. So this yellow precipitates confirms the presence of the barium plus 2 ion, Ba plus 2 ion. We have already seen the flame test. Let us look at the flame test again, because flame test itself is one of the important confirmative tests for barium plus 2 ions. You can see that I am bringing the salt near to the oxidizing flame. And as soon as the flame touches the salt, it gives us the green colored flame. So it is the barium chloride, or it is the barium ion, which produces such a green color, grassy green colored flame. And this is how we confirm the presence of Ba plus 2 ions. So my dear students, let us write our write-up into the record book or journal. Confirmative test for Ba plus 2 ion, potassium chromate test to the transparent solution. Transparent solution is obtained by adding dilute acetic acid to these precipitates, and we get transparent solution. To the transparent solution, add potassium chromate, K2CrO4. We get yellow precipitates, and we confirm that Ba plus 2 is present. Then we perform the flame test. A pinch of salt is allowed to burn in the oxidizing flame. Grassy green flame is observed, and this is how we also confirm the Ba plus 2 test. My dear students, we have seen from the various tests that there was a presence of Cl minus indicated by some of the tests. One test we have already done, that is the manganese dioxide test. In the manganese dioxide test, we have already observed the greenish yellow color, and we can say that Cl minus or chlorine gas, greenish yellow gas was produced, and we can say Cl minus 1 is confirmed. We are also going to perform one more test, which is known as the silver nitrate test. So let us have a look to the silver nitrate test. Let us perform, my dear students, the silver nitrate test. In this silver nitrate test, various materials required are, we need a solution of salt in water, we need silver nitrate, we need dilute HNO3, we need various test tubes, we need test tube holder, and we need droppers, we need Bunsen burner. Now, how do we perform the test? Let us have a look at. We take a salt solution. The salt is dissolved in distilled water. Now we'll add dilute HNO3 to it to make the medium acidic. There is no other reason. We shall heat it well, and then we are going to add silver nitrate. As soon as we add silver nitrate, my dear students, we get white precipitates of silver chloride. You can see at the bottom, these white precipitates are being collected. So this white precipitates confirms the presence of Cl minus ions, and this is how, my dear students, we come to a conclusion that we have Cl minus ion. White, see, aqueous solution of salt plus silver nitrate, that is aqueous solution of silver nitrate, we get white precipitates, and this is what it confirms the presence of Cl minus as an acidic radical. So we can here conclude the basic radical Ba plus 2 and acidic radical Cl minus 1. Thus the given salt, the salt which was given to us, the salt which was given to us was nothing but our barium chloride salt. So this salt which was given to you was the barium chloride uh, salt. I hope, my dear students, you you have been enjoying your studies. I hope you have enjoyed your studies. Happy learning.